Today we have a Wrath news roundup with several things to go over, more indications Blizz are indeed working on the game, and two separate surveys, one of them with not too much to go off of, and the other one, well, it asks some questions that even I'm surprised by. First up, if you really needed to put any more doubts to rest that Blizzard is indeed actively working on the game, then recently the logo was added to the classic era public test realm data. Yes, it's happening, people, don't you worry about that for a single moment. It's a matter of when, not if. Now we have two surveys. As per usual, they should go to your Battle.net email if you've gotten one, and as per usual, I didn't. Surveys are used pretty commonly for classic content. Prior to TBC launching, there was a bunch sent out trying to work out exactly what the community wanted most out of the expansion, which, well, as we now know, ended up being boosts and mounts and so on. Anyway, Survey 1 has a wide range of questions across a bunch of topics, but I'm going to be looking at the classic stuff. Question 1. Are you old? I wonder why they are asking that. Peak subs, so maybe they're expecting a lot of yeses, makes a good case for doing the expansion. Well, it would be a yes from me at least. Next two are something that Blizzard do on surveys where they seemingly ask the same question twice in a row, and I'm sure there's some big brain reasoning behind it, but they ask how interested are you as well as how likely are you to play Wrath Classic. I've always read these as one of the same. Chances are if I'm interested in something, I will engage with it. Perhaps the difference in interested as opposed to likelihood to play is in real life commitments. Not everybody has the time to actively play an MMO, whereas watching it from time to time is a lot easier. I still watch old school RuneScape content from time to time, but don't actively play it. I'm sure a bunch of you guys are the same with my channel. Anyways, this would be an easy yes from me. Next question on faction balance. Didn't expect that. Let's have a read. How would you describe the faction balance of the realm you primarily play on? So myself, I'm on Pyrewood Village, which is a European PvE realm. EU doesn't have one mega realm for PvE where all the Horde players are. So all the Horde PvE players on EU are, well, to be honest, they're on Gehennas at this point, which might as well be a PvE realm. In the grand scheme of things, Pyrewood isn't super bad, which I kind of feel is testament to how low my expectations are for faction balance. I'd say it's about 70-30 Alliance to Horde or so, and I'm literally only saying it's not bad because it's a PvE realm. Were it a PvP realm, this would be terrible. Again, faction balance just isn't as big of a deal on PvE. I pretty much only ever see the opposite faction, AFK and Shattrath, or sometimes outside of raids. Next up, if the population or faction balance issues were addressed, how likely are you to play WoW Classic in the next 30 days? That's a very loaded question. What does addressed mean, and how are you going to achieve that? The game has gone down this road before, and two-faction server locks seem like a good idea that is fun, but it just never really works out in the long term. The whole open world PvP thing just turns into there's more of us, so you're going to lose every single time. Then people start transferring off, less people to play with, and the small trickle of water starts to become a stream. Then a few guilds announce they're leaving, and like a waterfall, the population just disappears from a server. It's happened in many cases. For me on a PvE realm, it really doesn't matter whether the factions are balanced. I moved to PvE because I dislike how the faction system is tied to open world PvP. It became an irritation rather than something I got enjoyment from, so I chose to leave. Sure, it's nice to see some cows and orcs out in the world, but on the scale of things that are keeping me playing, it is very low. But then again, more people play PvP servers, and they always have done. And over there, you better believe faction balance matters, and it matters a lot. I've talked about it before, but it's like Classic is following a script here. This happened in the original WoW, and the solution for them, in short, was sharding and cross-realm servers, which I feel like the Classic player base is very much against overall, apart from Battlegrounds and the LFD and Wrath. But no, for real, smaller servers keep dying off, bigger servers keep absorbing more and more players, and when people are actively paying money to do this, it's hard to say it's not indicative of what people really want. They want a big server because lots of players is good in an MMO. I feel like many people like the idea of faction balance, but in order for it to really happen, Blizzard would have to force it and be so heavy-handed in their approach. It would take a drastic change to make the state of servers anywhere near balance, and at this point, I don't think there is anything that can realistically be done without causing a plethora of new problems. Two factions, single server just isn't a recipe for balance. So that's survey number 1 done, and that was meant to be the short one. Survey 2 then. Okay, buckle in, get your wallet ready, it's time for cash shop questions. So the survey is presented in an array of how appealing would you find each of the options as part of a bundle, from extremely appealing down to not at all. We'll look at the bundles afterwards. First of all, I'm going to bundle two of the questions together, a mount from Wrath usable in Classic as well as retail. So this is essentially what the Warp Stalker mount was for the TBC boost package. The real question here is, can you think of a creature model in Wrath that fits both Classic as well as retail? The Shovel Tusks perhaps? Do they have any recolors of that in retail yet? Or maybe a flying mount this time around? Aside from the whole monetization thing, I just tend to get one mount I like and use it pretty much forever. I don't know if anyone else does that, so wouldn't be really appealing to me either way. Next, character transfers. This service allows you to move characters to other realms, different WoW accounts, or from one Battle.net account to another. So I didn't even know you could do most of these things, but this is how it works in retail at the moment. I went and had a look to check. Notably, it says to transfer a character to another Battle.net account, both accounts must be registered under the same holder name. It is not possible to transfer a character to another person. And well, just take a look at this. So you could change the name if you really wanted to. Sounds like it could bring a bit of good and bad into the game, to be honest. I'm not really sure what to make of this. Next, 30 days of game time. Yeah, why not? You're already paying for a bundle, throw some game time in there. Pets and toys are also being considered. I've always felt people mind these two much less than mounts. Also, you know the Goblin Gumbo thingy Blizz added in TBC? That overrides buff food and raid. It's a bit of an oversight, that I think. Okay, the stuff that matters. A level 68 boost. I knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen. But wait, it's not for DKs. Well, that's understandable. The boost had to have been a huge moneymaker for TBC. Even if you aren't a returning player, I know plenty people who wanted to play a new class or rolled an alt or for something for PvP. There are so many reasons to boost, and the effective cost compared to the time to level to that point is, well, it's not hard to see the value in that. Time is money, friend. Unless there is a DK boost, that is. A level 68 boost for a class that starts at level 55. So I'm assuming this is targeted at the person who either quit Classic early or never really got into the game and played it, but does want to give Wrath a go. After all, you need a level 55 character somewhere on your WoW account in order to be able to make a DK. And if you were a returning player, you would have to boost something else to 68 and then go back and make a DK at 55 and start leveling. It would feel as though you've spent money on nothing, right? Okay, look, Blizzard, you put Draenei and Blood Elf in the pre-patch and you didn't allow boosting them. That was overall good. Being able to level ready for launch was cool. Good change overall to the pacing, and it made sense not to boost them. If you don't put Death Knights in the pre-patch and then sell a level 68 Death Knight boost, I'm gonna be mad. I'd go as far to say big mad. If leveling is only seen as an obstacle that impedes the player's ability to get into the game to the point where they would want to pay to avoid it, don't offer a paid solution to the problem. Get rid of the problem. Remember when New World said they were going to add XP boosts on launch and everybody freaked out and then they ended up not doing that? I want to say get rid of the you already need a 55 character on your account thing and just let anybody start a DK at 55, but imagine the amount of bots. What about DKs needing an authenticator or a verified mobile or something? I don't know, maybe there's ways around these things too these days. I also don't think design decisions should cater more to harming bots than actually allowing players easy access to the game. A capture every 2 minutes would really destroy bots, but it would also destroy the rest of the game. Bots should be handled as a separate issue. Another really good option would be to have more than a 2-week pre-patch so there is time to level as well. TBC kind of felt like, oh, by the way, this is happening, and boom, it's just out. It was a 3-week pre-patch in actual Wrath, and that was without DK, so let's hit at least that mark this time around. So how much is all this going to set you back? We have 2 bundle options. If you haven't seen the survey, you can have a guess at the price. It will be in dollars. Option B first, a level boost gift, assuming to level 68, a character transfer, a pet, amount for retail and classic, and 30 days game time. This is the, hey bro, we're gonna play Wrath, but oh no, our server's dead, let's start here instead package. What happened to that faction balance survey we were looking at earlier? Speaking of faction balance, during Wrath the Lich King, Blizzard added faction transfers to the cash shop, which is as of yet nowhere to be seen, though if it was implemented, it certainly wouldn't help the state of factions, that's for sure. But anyway, about the survey, I'm reading gift for the boost, as in a level boost for somebody else, not the person buying the bundle. That's not a thing in retail as far as I know. You'd have to give them Battle.net balance in one way or another. Then again, we don't have a token in Classic, right? So it's a bit harder to do. Instead, we have 2 people can buy for each other, leave their dead server, get to 68, and can insta-play the game. It's big brain, I'm not gonna lie. This is overall a better value option, but if 2 people gift each other, it's actually more money for Blizzard overall, because all of this will set you back a total of $30. Honestly, I didn't even recoil too much at that. 1 month sub and a transfer is more than $30. It's amazing, isn't it? But that's a boost for somebody else. What if you wanted a boost for yourself or to boost a DK? Well, that is option A, which is exactly that, and a toy. Not even a mount or a transfer, just a boost for you, and that will be Wait a second, how much was the TBC boost? Oh yeah, it was $40. Well, I guess, you know what? 10 extra levels, that's gonna be $10 extra because the Wrath boost is $50. Or at least that's what they're surveying at the moment. Seems rather a lot, doesn't it? Enough to feel like people are meant to get mad about it. Remember the classic era character copy being $35 and then later they lowered it to $15 after people were mad enough? There's no way 50 is the intended end price for this, right? Then again, I fully believe there will be a big demographic of players who will come back to play Death Knight but don't want to level to 55. There is a lot of revenue there, which I think is pretty easy to understand. The 68 boost was always going to happen for other classes. At least make DKs what they were to some extent. If you're gonna boost them, just start them at 55. I think players will want to redo the gameplay pattern of the DK starting zone, the battle for Light's Hope, the run through Stormwind or Orgrimmar. Wait, are the guards going to still spit on DKs? And then blasting through TBC dungeons. It's 13 levels to get to Wrath content when it drops. You get to relearn the class a little, try out different specs and so on. And by Wrath's final patch, even Battlegrounds will give XP too. There's so much of the nostalgia package you're missing out on here, Blizzard, when it comes to the DK. It's not all in the end game. And for the people currently playing, look, people did 60 on Paladin and Shaman in the space of 2-week period and had raid gear to boot. We had a Shaman with like 5 or so pieces of tier 3. Don't worry about the people that want DK that bad. I mean, in an ideal world, I would rather not see this kind of thing, but if it's going to be a thing, which it is, I think this would be better. That's everything though. That is the news for the week. It went on a little bit longer than expected. Share your thoughts on it all below. Would you be up for either bundle or just a straight up nope to anything? Maybe we can get a bit more feedback for Blizzard in the comments. As always, thank you all so much for watching and listening in, and I shall see you all in the next one very soon.